Next guest spends most of his time going all over the world and helping people in crisis. He is Dr. Vishtasb Broumand. He's a DMD and MD. Oral maxillofacial surgery is his specialty, and let's see if I can say this correctly. He pioneered research in the bisphosphonate-related osteonecrosis of the jaws.
به فارسی چی میشه؟
نمیدونم. Let's bring him out and ask him. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dr. Broumand.
Thank you for coming. I know some of the parents are like, finally, بعد از 2 ساعت, finally a medical doctor. Now the medical doctor after 2 hours. Baba, come on, I'm trying to bring that kid to make him a doctor. Baba, and I'm doctor. Yeah, and I'm doctor.
بچه دکتری هم.
Are you single?
No, I'm not actually. No, actually, I'm not single. But you know, I didn't always want to become a doctor. I wanted to become a newscaster at first, but I didn't have the looks. And then I wanted to become a comedian, and I wasn't funny enough. So, like any good Iranian does, I became a doctor.
Abeneki, you have the looks, my friend. Me and Vishy are here to inspire all you balding young people. You too can be here and be bald. And but let's get into some. You do some amazing work, and let's go ahead and find out a little bit about it. First of all, what is it? Say it again.
Oral maxillofacial surgeon.
Oral maxillofacial surgeon. I'm sorry. I dropped out of grad school. Did I tell you that?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So first of all, university. Where'd you go? What got you into that?
Well, you know, an oral maxillofacial surgeon, I ended up going to dental school first at the University of Florida, then medical school at the University of Miami. But my journey into medicine started years and years ago. Growing up in Iran, I was lucky enough to have really good role models of my parents. My dad is actually, he's the father of modern nephrology in Iran, which is a kidney specialty. But back in the days, in the 70s, we didn't have dialysis in Iran. And my parents went back to Iran. They moved here in the 60s, went back in the 70s, and introduced nephrology to Iran. And, you know, my father always took us to the hospital. That's the only time when we got to see my dad. So growing up and going to different hospitals, and we would have people that come from all the villages and all around the country to come see my dad. There were no other nephrologists at the time. And it was really a nice experience to see how some of these people, the way they thanked him, you know, it was so sincere. And he got such enjoyment out of that. And I really loved that feeling, just being with him. And a lot of times it was just, they would thank us just for being his son and just being with him. So I thought, this is what I want to do with my life. There's nothing else that can give me that kind of gratitude. And a lot of these people would come stay at our house for weeks because they had nowhere else to go. So I thought, you know, I think I can devote my life to medicine just the same way my dad has. And it was a really, really tough road. Obviously, the obstacles were enormous. For most of us who left Iran after the revolution, you know, being on a student visa and coming here without a green card and having to be smuggled out of the country. And here, things were almost twice as hard for us. You know, things are a lot easier now. And I actually, I can say that, you know, we did have to work twice as hard to get there. But once I got there, it was worth it, obviously.
It's amazing. Your father, you said, took the practice of nephrology to Iran.
Yes.
That's what an amazing accomplishment. And how was it growing up under his shadow?
It's been tough. You know, I always people always say, oh, you know, Dr. Broumand Marufi. I'm like, yes, I am.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Tell us about, you recently got back from Haiti. You're doing incredible work there. Obviously, your father, a big inspiration. But tell us about that and how difficult it is. I know you had broken your back, too.
I had, actually. This last couple years, it's funny because we were talking there, and my 40th birthday began with me going on a skydiving trip, and it was fantastic. I loved it. So I love excitement. But at the same time, you know, I found that the day after the earthquake in Haiti, I was watching TV and I thought to myself, you know, I really don't have anything holding me back here. I saw a lot of friends of mine on TV that I trained with that were down there. So I thought, you know what, this is what it's all about. This is what I trained for, and I need to go give back. And so I canceled my practice for a week. Luckily, I have some really good partners that covered for me. I went down there, and it's kind of sad because Haiti is really, we always think Iran is kind of a third world country, but Haiti is really fourth world, and it's kind of sad that it took such amazing amounts of, tremendous amount of human devastation, loss of life to bring attention to a country like that. But when I got there, just from, we had to fly into the Dominican Republic. There were no planes going into Port-au-Prince, so we flew to the DR. I chartered a plane actually myself because there were no organizations that were going into Haiti. I mean, it was really, people did it themselves. So I took 7 of my friends from Halifax Medical Center, a hospital in Daytona Beach, and we chartered a plane, and we got a lot of supplies donated to us, and we got into this small little plane and flew to the DR. And having a broken back, my adventurous side got me into some trouble last year. I hit a semi doing about 90 miles an hour from behind, and I broke my back. I probably shouldn't have walked away from it, but someone was watching over me, so I thought, whether I got a broken back or not, I got to go do this. So while I was in Haiti, it was a really uncomfortable drive there and plane ride. But once I got there, you're so busy the whole time, and you're helping people, and it's amazing. That's what being a doctor is all about. I went into medicine hoping to help some people, but I really didn't realize that by helping others, you end up helping yourself so much more, because you realize that the problems you have in life are nothing compared to what the people in Haiti have, because they were stripped of all their dignity and everything they had. Some of them had lost their lives. I came across a lot of orphan children, and in the pictures you see a lot of them. This is actually my surgical team, and you can see that I have a broken back there. I was wearing this back brace, and I lost it after I'd been there for a week. The doctor told me to wear it for 3 months. I had a lot of people that would say, hey, Haitians that thought this was for sciatica, and I kept on telling them, no, I have a broken back. I took it off one day, and it disappeared for about a week. And I think the people that took it realized this thing is really uncomfortable. No one would wear this in their right mind. So somehow it was given back to me the day before I came back from Haiti. I ended up treating a lot of people with broken faces, broken jaws, lots of lacerations, and obviously infections. A lot of it was acute, but there was also a lot of chronic medical issues going on there in Haiti. There was such a lack of doctors there. So what happened is people were referred to me while I was there, and luckily enough, I was able to find the University of Miami 10 hospital. And when I trained at the University of Miami, we had a really close relationship with Haiti. I used to go there as family medicine, students and family medicine rotations. I never went there, but a lot of other people did. So I used my connections with the University of Miami to go find this 10 hospital and really just spend about a week there operating. I went back once 3 or 4 months later, but while I was there for a week, I realized there was a lot of things I couldn't do in just 1 week, and I knew I had to go back. On the way back, I was on a plane, and you see me there driving through Port-au-Prince. That was kind of like a limo ride, really. I was sitting in the back of a pickup truck, and most people were walking. It's interesting, as we were driving into Haiti, a lot of people were kind of fleeing Haiti, so you could see people with stuff on the back of their head, or they were carrying their family out of Haiti, and this is actually the presidential palace. It was destroyed, and when we first got there, we didn't have a lot of help. American soldiers or the United Nations soldiers, unfortunately, they didn't speak English, or they acted like they didn't understand us, and when we would ask for directions, they kind of just took off, and you didn't want to be out at night. It just wasn't very safe, and so luckily we found this. The Royal Guard had this quarters where their families just stay at across from the palace. So we landed there for about 2 or 3 days, and we started treating a lot of patients there. And it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of people that even weren't sick would line up outside. Our cutoff was about 200 patients a day. We would try to see patients from sunset until sunset, because once it got dark, there was no electricity. And obviously, I practiced medieval medicine. I had to really learn to rely on a lot of my clinical skills to help save a lot of people. And what I did learn there, it was kind of a sad lesson that there was a lot of people that I could help, but unfortunately the number of people that I couldn't help by far outweighed the number of people that we did help. And but still, it was well worth it. On the way back, when I was on a plane, I was wearing a T-shirt from my practice which said Florida Oral, and I had a gentleman show me a picture on his iPhone of a lady with this tremendous large tumor, something that I'd never ever seen in my career, even when I was doing a fellowship in head and neck cancer reconstruction.
That's the picture right there?
Yes, that's it. And he said, what do you think of this? And immediately I just thought, I said, well, who's operating on her? And he said, nobody, because they had been trying to get her to the United States for about 5 or 6 years, and due to the logistics of getting someone through immigration or the university system, they had failed. UCLA, University of Alabama, University of Florida, and University of Miami, none of them had been able to get her there. So this thing was growing for about 11 or 12 years. This lady would actually have to physically unhinge her jaw to eat. And funny enough, her favorite food was pizza. But when I saw the picture, I automatically felt very
That's her after the operation?
That's her, yes. Set up a nonprofit foundation for helping the unfortunate, locally and of course internationally. We had helped quite a few people in Daytona Beach where I live, and I was able to get a lot of people to donate their time. I had attorneys and other doctors in the hospital that all helped support me. So I brought her over here and we operated on her, and after about 3 or 4 months, she went back to Haiti. She's done extremely well. And then on my second trip to Haiti, I went back while she was still in the States, recovering, and I operated on some more young patients with different tumors all over their faces and bodies sometimes. There was such a need for doctors there. It wasn't just oral maxillofacial surgery, but with my specialty, about 30% of people that go through some kind of trauma, it doesn't matter where, a car accident or blunt trauma, you always experience head and neck trauma as well. And there's not a lot of people that spend time doing that kind of, really surgery, just because it's very tedious, very time-consuming, and obviously financially not very rewarding at all.
Now, you obviously did an amazing job and are doing an amazing job. Now, 2 questions for you. First of all, did you run across any other Iranian Americans or Iranians that were there? And secondly, how would, again, a young person that wants to get in, do you just get up and fly to disaster areas? I know you've been to BAM, you've been other places.
Actually, I did run across a couple of Iranians there. Not a whole lot of them. From what I understand, I remember the Iranian government was going to send some support there, but they didn't go through the proper channels. You have to reserve landing times there, just because the airport only had 1 landing strip, and it was very difficult. So I didn't see a lot of Iranians there. But really, for anyone who wants to go to help there, Project MediShare is an organization through the University of Miami that is actively involved in helping send help to Haiti, actually. So Project MediShare is very involved. The University of Miami has links and websites. But really what I did is I did it myself. I had a lot of friends of mine afterwards that said, man, it's a really good thing you did. How do we get involved? Or who do I call? I said, well, I just did it all myself. I really, I felt really a strong urge to do it. So I made all the phone calls myself. It's actually not a very easy thing to do, but it's definitely doable. It takes, you have to have the right connections, like knowing you guys.
You've been to BAM too. Tell us what that was like.
That was actually a very interesting trip. It was my first kind of relief trip. It was about, it wasn't immediately right after the quake. It was a little bit afterward. It was like a month or so, and it was in 2006 or so when I went there. It was through, I went with YAMA, the Iranian American Medical Association, and it was a fantastic organization. I was the youngest member of the group. A lot of them were retired doctors, and I went along with my parents, actually. They came with me because, it's interesting. I didn't get to see my parents a whole lot growing up. Now they don't get to see me a lot, so they went with me to Kerman. And when I was there initially, I operated on some people that had been injured during the Iran-Iraq War that hadn't had proper reconstruction there, because just the means are not available in Iran either. So I did some surgeries there in Kerman, then I drove over to BAM, and we spent a little bit of time in a clinic there. Luckily, the French government came and built this beautiful hospital in BAM, but there were no doctors there. So you had one general surgeon there that did everything from head to toe for everyone. But I spent some time there, and it was really hard because we had hundreds of children and adults too that would in the waiting room waiting for us that all had terrible scars from burns, scar contractures. As you know, the earthquake in BAM happened very early in the morning, and in Iran they always had these furnaces that are heated with I guess what do you call it, with a diesel, and they all exploded. And so there was a lot of terrible scar contractures on otherwise very beautiful young children. So we had to pick people to operate from. So it's very hard when you have to have 30 or 40 children in one room and you have to pick one or two of them to operate on. It almost breaks your heart. But myself and this plastic surgeon, he was in his 70s, retired gentleman, great guy. We spent some time there, and I know they went back again. I just kind of got too busy until the earthquake in Haiti happened, but I really do intend to go back to Haiti. I'm going back next month, and it was just very hot there last time. When you're wearing a back brace and it's about 105 degrees, it's almost like Bikram yoga. It's not a lot of fun.
I'm sure we got a couple more questions as we wrap it up, but one of the questions I have is, again, if you could if somebody here wanted the advice of what should they do with their career, how do they get to a point where they can volunteer the way you've done? Like what are some wise words to
You don't necessarily have to be a doctor, correct?
No, you don't have to, actually. There's a lot of people that are in Haiti right now that are helping that are not healthcare providers. Obviously, there's a lot of nurses and there's a lot of physical therapists, but there's a lot of people that are just giving tender love and care, TLC. There's about 250,000 orphans in Haiti right now, and when I was there was a lot of friends of mine that helped set up orphanages there, but just walking around, just picking up those babies, and from what I understand, right now Sean Penn has set up a hospital there when I was there, and he spent 24 hours a day there. He actually pretty much moved to Haiti, and that's all he does. He walks around, he's not a doctor, he picks up these children, spends time with them, whispers in their ears, and actually just does nothing but TLC and helps support everyone around. But there's definitely, the best advice I can give anyone is you have to go into medicine for the right reasons. I went into medicine because I grew up around a lot of doctors, and every single one of my siblings has become a doctor afterwards too. But the four of us had great role models, and my father was born into a very wealthy, affluent family. But unfortunately, his father passed away when he was 7, so they lost everything. So his advice was always say, listen, go into something that you can always be your own boss, and you can always there's always a need for what you do. I don't think he intended to have us all go into medicine, but we all did. And you have to go into medicine. It's not a career. It's not a job. It's a way of life, and it's a complete and total commitment. And the biggest struggle I've had in my life is achieving balance between my personal and professional life. But I can really never stop. It's being a doctor. You're always a doctor. So you have to go into it. It's a long commitment, and it's a lot of physical and mental punishment. And if you can endure it, it's definitely well worth it. And there's a shortage of doctors worldwide. So I would, for those people that have the criteria and credentials to do it, I definitely would advise to go into it. But go into it knowing that it's not an easy road, but it's well worth it.
Well, you've definitely done your father proud. I think also one thing that you have imparted is how important it is to go to a third world country. And I mean, like you said, a fourth world country. I think anybody who hasn't been to a fourth world country, as you put it, it's a life-altering experience to see the way other people live and how much we take for granted here in America, right?
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. It changes your life, but you help change the lives of so many other people along the way, and it's an experience that I would advise anyone who can has the means to go to Iran or to Haiti or anywhere else like that. I would encourage you to go and help, especially
so
Iran.
many places. I mean, all over Africa, Ethiopia, Mali. There's so many places in need of help. And I really, to all you students out there, the biggest education you can get is to travel to a third world, a truly third world country.
And Cabo doesn't count. I know some of you people.
Why doesn't Cabo count? You can learn a lot of lessons when you go 2 miles from the beach.
Sure. We want to thank Vishtasb Broumand. Stay bald, stay beautiful.
I will. Thank you.
Give it up for Vishtasb Broumand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
So we have one.